palliative care patient can receive services in many settings. They most often receive care in the hospital. They can receive care at home. They can receive care at nursing homes. But what's important is being able to have that team-directed, patient-directed care.
One of the most wonderful things about hospice and palliative care, as I see it, is that they aren't telling a patient what they need to do to cope with their illness. They're letting the patient determine this and determine what route they go and how much care they want, how much interference in their life they want, but that support is there whenever they need it.
My wife was diagnosed with head and neck cancer about 5 years before her death. Prompted 4 surgeries to try to remove the cancer and then to do some corrective surgery. We still kept trying to preserve that life as long as we could and maintain a quality of life.
One of my biggest fears was whether we were going to be able to handle taking care of her at home. It was going to be a huge undertaking, and it was important that our family was able to work as a team and have the support that we needed.
It's not uncommon for families to feel very afraid bringing their loved one home from the hospital. It's often very overwhelming. You're having to learn a lot of new skills, things that you wouldn't normally have to do in everyday life.
Nancy had to be one of the most caring people that I've ever met, and she made us all feel at ease about the transition from hospital to home. And we felt comfortable knowing that at any point that we were in a situation that wasn't comfortable, she was going to be there. And that eased all of those fears that we had about taking her home.
I recall when the social worker came over and sat down with Nancy and I and talked about live and will.
As I got to know David and Nancy better, I helped them to develop their advance directives, to speak about what were Nancy's wishes and how could David honor her wishes if Nancy wasn't able to speak for herself.
Helping my mom make a living will was very important to all of us because we wanted to know before she got to the point where she couldn't tell us what her wishes were.
It made all the decisions so much easier having those discussions rather than putting a lot of burden on the family to say, did we make the right decision? Because we knew in our hearts and in our minds that those decisions were the will of Nancy, my wife.